Welcome to another episode of Out of Spec Dave, where today I'm in Colorado. I'm so pumped to be here with Kyle and Alyssa. It's Thanksgiving, and this is my first time seeing the hub. Kyle, I'm pumped for you. This is great. You just gave me a quick and dirty tour. Can you give me a little bit more detailed tour and tell me about what's going on here?
Yeah, you also haven't seen some of the cars, some of the weird and wacky EVs that we have around, so I figured I could show you what's here, show you the hub. It's not huge, it's a small space, but we can get through it pretty quickly.
All right, that sounds good. So join us for a tour of the hub. Here, what town are we in here?
Yeah, Fort Collins.
Fort Collins, Colorado. Let's get into it. Kyle, I know that you had sort of a false start with another facility going back maybe a year ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
2 years ago. And that didn't work out for various reasons.
Well,
we don't need to go over that.
Reason.
What?
Only one reason.
What was the reason?
We had the perfect building, everything was signed, we're good to go. They wouldn't let us put a garage door on it.
Oh yeah, I remember
So it was contingent on the door.
Right.
HOA, or whatever you call the HOA for commercial buildings.
Right.
Even though every other unit had a garage door, denied our request for a garage door, so we were able to back out cleanly, which worked out well.
Okay.
What was that, Alyssa?
And it's still for sale.
Yeah, it's still for sale.
It's still for sale.
Yeah, they really should have done the door. I still think that could have worked great, but in hindsight, this is a much better location.
Tell me about this location, by the way. This what is this? 25 here?
Yeah, so it's Interstate 25 is right here.
Yeah.
And we have, we're literally on the off-ramp for the exit, which is wonderful. So at some point in the future, if a charging CPO like Iona or Tesla Supercharging or Electrify America, although they probably would never, they could put in charging here. But we have had talks, some preliminary talks about maybe hosting some charging for CPOs and maybe even putting in our own chargers, because I have a few DC fast chargers in the garage now. And it's just a matter of getting utility. For sure, at some point, we will have DC charging here in the parking lot. And you can see we can do about, I don't know, maybe 10 different charging spots here.
Right.
Something like that, which is nice. We could even do canopies and lights. I mean, the vision is here for sure. We also have other parking spaces available to us. However, we don't have the full building. We only have that side of the building right now.
I see.
And so,
but this is a brand new facility. You're the first ones in here?
Yeah, we are the first ones in here. There's only one other tenant really, so we could, we could get more space if we needed. I think we do. I think we're gonna, expand a little bit here. But
okay.
But yep, it's all good.
And this is called the Hub. I love that name.
Yeah, we've named it the Hub because we want it to be our charging hub and sort of a hangout spot for our viewers. So we're able to host, cars and coffee, get-togethers, do all of our testing out of here. And so the future vision, which we're really kind of getting close to, is to film and work and do everything out of one location and test. And we're right off the highway. So
that's
it's really,
great.
Really perfect for us because we constantly have to rely on public DC fast charging. And it's such a pain. And so we have now super high power charging on its way here. We have Alpitronic Hyper 400 that will come. The biggest issue is just a really power availability. But for sure we're getting
What are those green boxes over there? I mean,
yeah, so those are transformers and they're on a main line with Poudre Valley REA, which is like sort of a regional electric association. So it's a co-op. Co-ops are generally known that they don't want to do too much capital expenditure because every, a payer of PVREA is an owner. So they, would require us to pay to upgrade the site, which we could do, of course. And it would probably cost us a lot of money.
Right.
But it's definitely something I want to do. The problem is I talked to PVREA, not to get too in the weeds, but it sounds like the city might annex this area, which would bring the power lines and the buildings under the city rather than county run for some of these things. And if that's the case, then PVREA would no longer be our utility and it would be the city of Fort Collins utility. They're much more open to supporting high power DC charging.
Okay.
And so it's just a timeline of figuring out when things are happening. We've spoken to the mayor of Fort Collins about it and trying to put a little bit of pressure on to say, hey, can you annex this quicker? Even though our rate structure might be worse, but then there's actually, they might help us get the high power out a little bit easier.
Now, we were just over at the office. You had a DC fast charger installed over there as well earlier today.
So for the viewers who don't know, we kind of have, this and our office are very close to each other. and they're within a couple miles. So our office is downtown Fort Collins.
Is that technically Colorado State University, that building?
Oh, yeah.
That is, right?
CSU Powerhouse
CSB,
campus.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. I'll
But
insert in a little bit because I want to drive back over there. I charged this morning on the new Macan EV. It worked great.
Yeah, exactly. We have a high-powered DC charger, 180 kilowatts there.
Yeah. Don't tell anyone though where it is because it's not on PlugShare.
I mean, it is technically listed as a restricted site, and it's for our viewers, for friends of ours. I'm happy with people using it. What kind of bugs me is when Uber drivers go out there all the time and just get free charging.
Right, right.
It's our fault for not having access control yet. So,
Yeah.
you know, we're waiting. I think maybe even by the time this video goes up, we'll have some sort of access control where if you're a friend or a local viewer or need it, you know, we'll make sure you can charge.
Right.
And
you've got NACS and CCS on that unit.
NACS and CCS. We're having some issues with our NACS cable over there. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, yeah, so tell me, let's go inside. I want to check this out. But
Yeah, we'll get into the cars later.
Yeah, we'll get into the cars, but this is just an amazing facility. And I really personally, I like this location really well, especially with the vision you have for charging, because you wouldn't have been able to do that at the other place.
Right, so that really sold us. I mean, this was not the cheapest option for us by like a long shot. We paid up for the location, and the location is the future vision of hosting a public charging site with a unmanned lounge, like a BK World Lounge situation.
Gotcha.
I don't know exactly where or how we could put it, to be honest. We may even have to take up some parking spaces to put the lounge. And of course, the more units that we buy up, the easier it is to convince everyone else here that we need more spaces.
Right, that
So,
makes sense.
You know, we started with just 2 units. It sounds and feels like we kind of need to expand to a few more.
Right, okay.
So yeah, right now we have this area of the building on this side over here. And it's still very early days. Even though we've had the hub for a couple months, we've been traveling, we've done the surge. We haven't really had a chance to move in until this week.
What is this here, Starlink?
Yeah, so this is like my early Gen 1 Starlink that I actually normally had kept on the roof of the Sprinter, and it's been powering our internet here. Tomorrow I got one of the new Starlinks with like a business line direct
For the roof?
for the roof.
Okay.
And they're gonna come and install that.
How much faster is that than this?
I don't actually know. Honestly, this has been working out really well. Sometimes if we have a car parked too close, it occludes its sky vision.
Right.
But in general, it really does work well. We've had a couple cutouts during podcasts, which is a concern. But to be honest, they don't have fiber running here.
Right.
We only had like a coax with Comcast or something, and I called the guys, and they wanted over $600 a month for 30 megabits per second upload.
Right.
And I said, screw you, that's terrible. Starlink is the way of the future. You know, totally changing the entire industry of, I would say, scammy internet.
Right.
And so, yeah, we're putting a Starlink
Hey,
on
just
the roof.
a quick tidbit for you. Years ago, I was at JP Morgan. We owned a company called Neovest,
Yeah.
and they were based in Utah. And they had their satellite
I
dish.
remember Neovest, the guy had a
Yeah, Bryce Byer.
passenger,
We skied with Bryce at
but he had a
Outset.
9-passenger GMT 800.
Well, he
Suburban.
had a ton of kids.
Yeah, well, he's from Utah.
Right,
So-
exactly. So Bryce, it was so funny. He was the CEO of Neovest. He's now retired, but he had the satellite dish up on the roof for all the companies to get their market data to be able to trade.
Yeah.
And it snowed,
Oh, and then they lost connection.
and the whole market data went down. Everybody flipped out.
Starlinks
So-
heat themselves.
Oh, okay, very cool.
Yep.
All right, because I was going to say you might want to think about a solution
Nope,
for that.
they have a heater function.
All right, sounds like you did that. Well, let's go in.
Yeah, so we recently had these as 2 separate units. Oh, here's Blue and Ellie.
Oh, hey, Blue.
Walter's at home because he's recovering from surgery.
Okay.
And we blew out the wall here, so we've made this one.
Oh, so this
larger
was
unit.
one unit, and you blew
Yeah,
this out.
that wall continued out. I would say they did a subpar job.
Okay.
If you zoom in up there, Alyssa, you can see some of the rough edges. What's your impression of the job?
Very Colorado.
Yeah, that's what we really have a tough time finding reliable handyman work, construction work here in Colorado. It's a
Yeah.
real problem.
Yeah.
There's no sense of urgency, no sense of quality work. Maybe it's across the country, but you know, for example, the guy Bernardo who's installing my Starlink, called me after like 5 days of not hearing from him, waiting for. I'm like, bro, I need this thing up as soon as possible, and he's like, calls me yesterday. He's like, "Oh, I remember I came by to give you a quote. Here, it'll be $1,500 to mount your Starlink on the roof." I'm like, $1,500 to put a Starlink on the roof? Are you out
What
of
is it,
your
like a
mind?
hairy ladder?
No, it's just a ladder and 4 screws. Yeah. And I'm like, "How about $350?" He's like, "Oh, how about $500?" I'm like, "Where did the $1,000 go?" And then I was like, "Oh, you know what? $350. I'll find someone else." And he's like, "Oh, okay, $350."
Really?
Yeah.
And didn't he say he was coming today?
Yeah, he said he was going to come
And
this
then
morning.
this morning he goes, "Oh, I forgot it was Thanksgiving. I'm not
Yeah,
coming
sorry, I
today."
can't come. I was like, "Oh, Thanksgiving, at least let's get this thing up."
That is
So
classic.
we really have a tough time finding quality.
Well,
work.
these garage doors are nice and tall.
They're tall, they're quiet, they're the new LiftMasters power situation, so they're dead silent when they're loading.
Right.
We can hook it up to MyQ with our internet connection, which we actually have to do. We need to get on a ladder and you have to hit a learn button, but I haven't.
How is the heating in here? Like if you open up one of these doors and it's 20 degrees out, does it get warm in here again quickly?
No, it gets warm up there very quickly.
Up there, which
Yeah,
is probably
because-
okay.
Well, so it starts to get really hot up there. So our temperature monitors for the hub are right over here. We really need to adjust this or change this or move this. Definitely to like a Wi-Fi controlled unit. But the
see.
problem is if you open the door, it thinks it starts getting freezing and it rips the heat and heat rises.
Okay.
And so it'll get like 100 degrees up there.
So it's not as if the units are underpowered. It's just they're getting bad signals.
They're underpowered from a cooling perspective, but now that we can share 2 of them for this one space, hopefully they can work together.
Okay.
I guess, when we first moved in, I was like, it gets really hot here and really cold here. So we have extremes.
Yes.
And in basically I had this thing set to like 68 degrees because I wanted a nice, cool environment to work in. And our power bill was going crazy and we were getting no cold air and I had frozen over the core.
I see.
So I had the HVAC guys come out and they put some insulation and stuff. So hopefully this summer coming up.
Right. One thing, I like the light that's coming in from up there, those 2 windows, the natural light.
Yeah.
But I do have that casino feel. What are your thoughts about maybe taking this panel out and converting it into like a glass
Yeah,
so you'd be able to see out?
We definitely need to do something because it's a little bit freaky. When you're here at night and you hear someone pull in or something, you have no idea what's going on. I mean, there's security cameras and stuff that we can log into and see, but it'd be much better just to have a really tinted piece of glass or even. I don't think it's worth swapping them out to glass doors because it gets really expensive. We just need to see a little,
Just
one slot.
yeah, maybe just a little. Yeah, I'll get out. We'll get out the circular saw, you and I.
That's really all it needs.
Little project.
Yeah.
Let's go upstairs.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you have over here? This is.
Yeah, it's a mess right now because we've just had cleaners come and start, their process of doing a deep clean. So they did all the upstairs and then they're going to come back and do the downstairs.
I see. Okay.
But this place was built where the first people in here, no one was here before us. And so it just had a lot of construction dust and things everywhere. So we had Olivia, who did a great job, came yesterday and deep cleaned all upstairs, and she did the bathrooms as well.
Okay. And then the bathroom sink, by the way, I don't dislike that bathroom sink for the hub. I like that. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, they came pre-selected. That wasn't our doing.
That's pretty sweet.
This place that we're in is called the Personal Warehouse, and so they build these warehouses in anticipation. People want a man cave or a work whatever.
Right.
We have like a. I don't know if they're smuggling stuff in their furniture, but we got a furniture. We get Mexican trucks coming up here dropping off handmade furniture. Who knows what's inside of the furniture?
Well, there's
over there, but they're great.
There's 2 economies. You know that.
Yeah, so they're
Maybe
doing
3.
Yeah, they're doing their thing over there. We're using it for cars, and it's all great. We're all friends.
Yeah.
They're really fun.
Let's. I want to see upstairs too.
Sure.
I mean, it's really.
Alyssa, anything you wanted to add about the hub?
It's great. There's a lot of things we still need to sort out, but it's slowly coming together.
Yeah, we need to get some cabinets, and it's since we got it, we really used it as just car storage until this week because I've been gone traveling.
One of the funny things, Alyssa, growing up, Kyle was always, we had the place up in Vermont, and it was always that rustic wood, we had a log cabin and all that. And Kyle loves contemporary, right? And it's like, you've always liked contemporary. This lamp itself, I think, is pretty.
Our Bugatti Chiron lamp.
That
is
is
still very Gen 1. We have much more stuff coming, and this will all get adjusted, and TVs are on their way, and
This is really nice.
This is just 1 week of putting a little bit of effort into
I like the
everything.
flooring they put in. This is...
Yeah, Alyssa went furniture shopping with me. We went to American Furniture Warehouse. None of this stuff is like really that high end or anything.
No, I mean, I think it was, yeah, all in, pretty cheap for everything.
Yeah, everything here was less than $5,000.
Wow.
Really nice. And I got these chairs because have a seat in them. See what you think. Let's get his review on the chair and see if he knew what I was going for here.
It's comfortable.
Except where your arms are.
Right.
So it's on purpose. It's to make you feel a little bit welcomed, but not comfortable enough to sit and bug me all day.
This is the selfish chair.
This isn't my desk, obviously. This is just a temporary one, but it's
So
like
you
if
want
someone-
people to come and leave.
Yeah, yeah. Don't get too comfortable here.
Okay.
That's the idea.
If
you're going to stay, we should be monetizing your stay by doing a podcast.
Right.
Which is what we'll do in this room, producing content, which is why we have this place, obviously. And we produce so much content, we need to be filming all the time. And so this is the kitchen table we got, which
Nice.
works fine for the podcast. These are my Volvo EX90 chairs. It really just has that Swedish. I saw them and I was like, it ticked none of the boxes I was looking for a chair. It's a little bit too reclined, a little bit too comfortable, but they looked like a EX90 interior and sold me.
So tell me your vision from a technical standpoint for how you're going to be filming and switching cameras and sound and all that.
Yeah, so what we're building out, actually tomorrow, everything arrives. I have a huge technical order arriving with phones and mounts and TVs and everything. So the person running the podcast ideally will sit in that chair back there.
Okay.
And we have, Rode has been a great supporter of Out of Spec. They actually send us a bunch of stuff. We purchase a bunch of stuff from them. We're filming this video with Rode
Yeah,
mics.
absolutely.
So I'm a huge Rode fan. I like their stuff, very
They're
high
out of
quality.
Australia.
Australian, yep.
Yeah.
And Jordan's going to come and do all the cable management and everything. But the idea is we'll have 6 places, maybe too many for a podcast, but it's nice to have 1 or 2 extra. 4, 1, 2, 3, or 4. It could be, that's probably going to be average. We'll have all of the cameras mounted from the ceilings with some lighting. And, the technical person's going to sit here. So they'll have an iPad using SwitcherCast. So everything will be filmed on iPhone like everything else.
Right.
Streamed wirelessly, actually. We've done a bunch of tests, and our friends at the Smoking Tire podcast use the same exact setup. So I talked to Zach, who runs that show. I said, okay, what do we need? He said, SwitcherCast works great. I've been on their show a few times,
Yes.
and it works wonderful when I'm there. So I said, okay, let's do that. Because it's $100 a month for this app to switch the things versus spending thousands of dollars of hardwired video equipment and these expensive cameras. And we've always done it the cheap way. This is being filmed on an iPhone. I film everything on this iPhone.
Right.
And to me, that's the right way to do it.
And so you'll be able to run power down to the phones.
Well, yeah. So we have the power outlets that came pre-installed, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, right up there, which will work great. And we'll have 10-foot cables or whatever.
Right.
I think I purchased the correct number of mounts in terms of the length and everything. I did a lot of measuring.
Huh.
So we should have it all custom done in, and it should be good. Alyssa, what's your impression of all this? I know I spent a little bit too much time this week working on this project, but
Yeah, you've been highly focused, so hopefully we have lots of people come out and utilize this space.
yeah, we want to have viewers out here, other people in the industry, other content creators. Blue's ready to podcast. Blue, sit. Blue, sit. Oh, sit.
There
Good
he is.
boy.
Here you go. What do you got to say?
He does speak. He's
Blue, speak.
Speak.
Good boy.
Oh boy. I mean, maybe a little, lower the volume a little bit on that one. Yes, boy.
You got it.
Yes.
Thank you.
We hear you. Thank you.
Good. And I like how you have these things.
So these chairs, I don't know what I'm going to do on this side. So the thing is, obviously, the walls are blank. We need to decorate them. Not decorate, but it needs to be not just a gray backdrop. Also, for some sound deadening would be nice. So we're going to have a 100-inch monitor here, which will be great. So whoever's
100-inch.
100-inch monitor. So when you're sitting here running the podcast, whoever's doing all this stuff can work. But then that will be in view of everyone else at the chairs. Like if we pull up a clip, or pull up something, that will go there, which will be great. And we have all of these mounts coming so that you won't have these stands, mics on stands. And I think it'll be okay. These are a bit bulky. Might want to change the arms at some point in the future, but we'll dial it in. Ultimately, I think it'll be a great place to do a show.
What are those hex pads over there?
Yeah, actually, these were from Francie. So Francie used to run our podcast, and she doesn't anymore. Everyone asks what happened to Francie. Well, she just doesn't run our podcast anymore, but she's still a great friend, and it just wasn't really her thing. Don't really know what to say beyond that. There isn't much, and so she'll still be on videos and shows occasionally, giving VinFast updates. The VinFast will go back to her. Francie and I have been friends for a long time, so. Isaiah's running the show now, but this came in the kit from Francie's podcast setup.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. But these chairs over here, I don't know what to do with them. I saw them. I like them. I think the pillows, when I saw them, worked really well. They go on the side because it's a little bit too wide. And so I think that's the best way to set up.
Do you feel like you're going to have maybe get some backrest for these as well?
You need to, because when you sit in them, they're a little bit too far back.
I got you. They're really nice though. They're very cool.
Yeah, they're cool. That was the most expensive bit out of all of this were the chairs.
Right.
But really like them.
So what is your ultimate vision for the hub? I mean,
you're looking at it. This is it.
This is it. So you're living it right now, and having the cars. I mean, the neighborhood was getting a little crazy when I remember last time I came out here. And I said, Kyle, how many cars do you have? And you're like, I don't really know. And then you're like, I said, well, okay, where are they? And you go, I don't really know. Yeah. But now coming here, you have all the cars, or pretty much all of them.
Yeah, so I think eventually we want to do some stackers. So we want to come up probably 3 high, which, actually they're not too expensive. And BendPack has worked with some creators in the past, but they haven't responded to us yet. So maybe we'll just buy a few. I don't know. At some point, there's no rush to any of this. But I just have like a lot of cheap and crappy cars. Like my e-Golf's $3,000, my Leaf's $3,000, my B-Class was $3,000. I just have like a lot of not very expensive cars, and then very few nice cars.
Right.
And I'm thinking we got to switch some of that around at some point. Want to get rid of the Model S. Want to get rid of the Sprinter. One
thing you said earlier, which was cool, is if you get the triple stacker, then those cars will be at the same height as the podcast. So when you're podcasting, how cool would that be if you actually have cars? You'd almost feel like you're sitting in the garage.
Right, yeah, you'd have cars right up here at high level, which would be pretty sick.
Which would be cool.
All good ideas. There's always going to be more ideas, more ways to, kit this place out. That's part of the reason we got it was, it'll be a never-ending, involvement. Of course, you'll see paraphernalia and things get mounted to the walls over time. But I think it's nice just to keep it kind of empty. I like a pretty empty, clean slate look. Mm-hmm. So it actually doesn't bother me that everything's just...
Well, Kyle, I got to tell you, as your dad, as your friend, I'm really proud of you for getting this vision here. And if you can get that unit, that would be amazing.
Yeah, we will for sure. I think that's no problem.
And you'd be able to blow out like the wall right here?
I don't know if we would just keep it separate.
Oh, I see.
Or not. But anyway, let's move on to...
Yeah, you want to show me...
I want to show you some of the new additions since the last time you've been here.
Okay,
I'm particularly excited about the B-Class.
I have not seen the B-Class. Yeah, B-Class, I thought was out... Did you buy that? Was that in California?
Bought it in California,
yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's been fixed, and QC Charge and Conduit EV now, sort of the parts and service side, kitted this thing out and did a full service on the B-Class over there.
Come on, Ellie, you can come down. She's like halfway down the stairs.
Yeah, she's crying over there.
Yeah. That looks clean, Kyle.
Yeah, listen, come take a look at it. Yeah, it's a 20-something B-Class electric drive. It's an early one. It just had a new DC to DC converter put in. It had the motor coolant delete. This is basically a Tesla underneath. So this is the car that saved Tesla.
How?
Mercedes hired Tesla to do all the electric components when they were, really just struggling as a company.
Huh.
So without this, Tesla would not be here.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah, that's one of the reasons I have it, because it's so unknown and so influential. Also, the original smart car electric, the 451. This is a 453.
But wasn't the original RAV4 also?
That was part of it as well. So it was RAV4, this, and the smart car were the 3 other automaker projects that Tesla helped on.
Interesting.
Yeah, And so this runs a Tesla Model S large drive unit up front.
Is that
with
front
reverse-
or rear wheel drive?
Front wheel drive.
Front wheel drive.
Yep. I have studded winters for it, and we haven't registered it yet. I got to do it. It's just on the list. We've just been busy, but it runs and drives great now. It really does. I had the full motor. The bearings were rebuilt. It has the coolant delete now, so this thing's ready to rock and roll.
What does that mean,
in the future.
coolant delete? I'm sorry.
Every early Tesla motor will fail because the seals leak, and then coolant starts getting into electrical components and fries the motor.
I see.
And so QC Charge and Conduit EV, their service end, developed this coolant delete kit, and it's not cheap. So this thing, I paid $3,000 for it, but it needed a $5,000 service.
Huh.
Which, to be totally transparent, they covered at no cost to me.
They as in who?
Yeah, QC Charge and Conduit.
Oh, QC. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was very nice. They
Wow.
also let us borrow their Model S for the cross-country trip.
Oh. Oh, okay. That was the 85?
Yeah.
Oh, I got
Same
you. Okay,
guys.
yeah,
That was
all right.
my loaner car.
Got it.
My e-Golf, still kicking, still great.
Yeah.
Needs a wash, but...
I love the pickaxe hole in
yeah,
the front.
we
That's-
thought it was a bullet hole. And this happened, this was the main driver of getting this space, this hole. So I had the cars parked at our office because we were able to we had a big lot. And we've had a couple incidents. Someone stole my Suburban out of there.
Didn't they steal it and then returned it?
They stole it, blew it up, and then returned it. Yep. And then...
I mean, I don't mean to laugh, but that is kind of funny.
Yeah, that was funny. And then they, some who knows, some crackhead or something came by and probably just took a pickaxe. The crazy thing about this was it was parked next to a Mercedes EQS, next to my Rivian, next to the Cybertruck, and they hurt the little baby Golf. But thankfully they hurt this one and not the other ones.
Yeah.
Because we had press cars and other stuff.
Wow. Oh, boy.
Yeah, here's Danny's new Leaf, by the way.
Now, is
And
this
my
the
old
one
Leaf.
that broke?
That was the first one. This is the replacement.
Oh, that's the replacement.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this gets the garage treatment. The Lucid stays outside.
That was some insane lease deal.
Yes.
How much did this end up leasing for?
So our viewers, I think we're getting them for like $19 a month. They hooked us up on Danny's car because we sold so many Leafs. I think he's $11
That
with
is-
$500 down. So all in, including taxes and everything. Have you ever sat in a new Leaf?
No.
You really should, because they're actually like, it's just I don't want to say it's a nice car, but it's at the cost, it's amazing.
Did you see yesterday Nissan? Someone was saying they have like
Not just someone, two executives said they have a couple years left to survive.
Yeah.
At the most.
Oh boy. All right, let's see. I mean, I have taken that Leaf out.
You've driven the old Leaf?
Yeah, oh yeah. I
Okay.
did a video on that.
Oh yeah. that
Remember the
thing.
day I blew out my pants, and Alyssa was like, "Dave, you need to go shopping." I did bring 2 pairs of pants this time because of that. But yeah, I took it over to Macy's and bought some pants. Yeah, this is nice.
Yep.
What more do you need?
That's what I'm saying. What more do you need?
$11 a month?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Insurance is actually pretty.
Speaking
Yeah,
of
the
what more do you
insurance isn't
need,
cheap.
looky over here.
Well, that's a lot more than you need.
That's a lot more than you need. That's, that's called the MamaCon.
Yeah, the MomCon.
No, we're calling it she likes to call it, Kathy said she wants to call it the MamaCon.
MamaCon.
'Cause
Okay,
it's like,
that's fine.
It's like the MomCon. So it's the MamaCon.
Okay,
And
that works.
more to come on this. Oh boy, am I excited about that. That is amazing. And this puppy over here, how many miles are on this Model 3 now?
150. It hasn't been driven much recently.
Okay.
I mean, we just drove it back from Tennessee to here. That worked out pretty well. And yeah, it's supposed to be on Nokian winter tires, but I ordered the wrong size, so it's on the 0G wheels
Yeah.
until I get those.
Well, I
that
just
sorted.
swapped out my my 20-inch for the Nokian Hakkapeliitta R5 EVs with
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
the Martian wheels, and
Yeah, similar setup. We run Martian wheels on all the Teslas, and
yeah. And Judy,
yeah, Judy the Range Rover, still kicking. Had her yearly service.
my
recently.
dad would be proud of you. He did not like Range Rovers.
He hated Range Rovers.
Yeah.
Probably the only thing he and I ever disagreed on. were
Yeah.
Range Rovers.
Well, you know why?
because you had one in it.
Oh, and you know why? I had one. I gave it to my sister. Right?
Right.
Here, you can have it.
Yeah.
And then it had like $11,000 worth
Right,
of work.
and then he ended up
and
paying
he
for
ended
it.
up paying for it. So.
Right. But anyway, the old Range Rover Judy is she's great. I thought the engine had gone on it. I thought actually the service center did an oil change, never filled it up with oil because it was knocking. and it was right after an oil change. And I was like, oh boy, time to do an EV conversion. That would be cool. However, it's actually right at the time they did the oil change, the oil pump went out.
Oh.
But that was easy. So it went back. I mean, towed it back, obviously. They fixed it, $400. She's still running.
Right. Don't you have the blue Range Rover?
Yeah, that's at Drew's house because I have his Rivian here.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So he's in China for like 6 months. So I wanted his Rivian here for reviews.
Drew's in China now.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yep.
Okay. That's why he's only texting me at like 1 or 2 in the morning.
Time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. And then
all right.
RAV4
So tell me about this RAV4. This is so cool.
Generation 1 RAV4 EV, not the Tesla collaboration. The Tesla collaboration was the second generation RAV4 EV, which I'd love to get one of those one day. And I know plenty of owners. They're really cool.
Where did you find this? And didn't you buy 2 of them?
Yeah, I bought 2 of them. One of them is still with the lady I bought it from, and I feel bad because I have not actually told her when I was coming to get it.
Oh.
And she sent me an email recently. She's like, are you ever going to come get this thing? And I haven't responded. So there might only ever end up being one.
Maybe she'll sell it again.
I don't know what's going to happen. This was the nicer of the 2. That was a parts car, more or less.
Yeah.
And yeah, nickel metal hydride battery, which actually likes to be fully charged and fully discharged to retain capacity.
Here, hold this for a second.
And I have the original charger.
Let me take over filming here. Alyssa, I want you to tell us about this Polestar because don't you hold a record in this car?
I do. I hold a Cannonball record.
You do?
Some other people might hold one too, non-disclosed. Lots of holders, but yeah, I think I'm the only person that's ever attempted this hybrid across country, plug-in hybrid across country. So it was a huge feat for me. But
That's amazing.
I am in Wikipedia, and no, I did not write the Wikipedia.
I did see that written up in Wikipedia.
It's really funny because a plug-in hybrid record is the same as a combustion thing.
Yeah.
But at least, whatever. Someone put it on the website. We don't know who.
Yeah.
Because we never called it a record. It wasn't like a thing because it's like, the gas car record's 24 hours or something.
Yeah.
And but plug-in hybrids, there you go.
Right. Wow.
I did it.
What are you thinking about this place? This is pretty amazing, huh?
It is, like I said, there's still so much to do. For my side, what I want to do is one of these bathrooms is actually going to turn into a dog washroom. So we'll put in a nice tub and dryers and all that stuff so I can wash these varmints when it's hot and cold.
Yeah.
And, so I think the next step really is just to get stackers so we have more storage in here. And I think that'll open up more space. And then, little things here or there, hanging things up, figuring out what we want to be put in for some decor, and then it's pretty much good to go. Maybe throwing some more stuff out, but that's
We got a lot of trash.
Kyle, before we go outside,
Yeah.
what in the?
Oh, I know what I was going to show you.
That is the perfect place to park that car.
Right. It's very it's perfectly aligned with the railing. So this is my commuter car. I have 2 of them. This was the one that Declan, who had to go back to school. I mean, we hired him for the summer. He just never finished the project. He had a lot of cool stuff going on. He fixed my RAV4. He'll be back on the channel for sure, on the Renew channel. But he was going to Tesla swap this for me. And so he got it in the starting process of working on it. And we got it alive, got it powered up. And then he had to get back to Arizona to go to school. But eventually, I don't know what the plan is. I kind of want to put like a Model 3 motor in it or something, which would be really fun.
Hey, it's got a sunroof.
Yeah, that was rare. I don't even know if it was a factory option. Whoever owned this car worked for the Department of Energy, or it was a Department of Energy vehicle, of course, built in Florida. But very cool. This is my charger for the RAV4, by the way. This is what I wanted to show you. Before J1772 was a thing, J1773 was there. Weird how we went backwards. But,
I didn't know that.
Yes, so this is my Magna Charge J1773. And this is how you used to charge electric cars.
Wow.
Induction charging. And it was cool.
So when you say induction, there's no...
There's no touching component.
Huh.
Just boop, charge the blue. And what's cool is it's actually even technically more advanced than J1772 because it had 2-way communications with it. It could read the vehicle's state of charge and display it on the charger, which J1772 does not allow for.
Huh. Very cool.
Yeah. Love that. I love this thing. I've got to, you know, the only reason I really want the other RAV4, and I got to email that lady back, and hopefully she still sells it to me, is so I can get the other magnet charger. Because these are really hard to find.
Huh.
But this one works. I plug it into the Cybertruck and I can charge the RAV4. So my plan is to take that to Cars and Coffees and stuff and charge it off the Cybertruck's
I see.
NEMA 1450.
I see. Did we talk about the smart car?
Well, smart car's doing great. It's just on a 12-volt tender because the battery's starting to get a little bit old, and it drained all the way, and the whole car, man, did it hate waking back up, coming to life.
Yeah, it did.
I had-
And the windshield's fixed, so it's
Yeah,
So
ready to go.
correct me if I'm wrong.
it's even on winter tires.
You originally, I see that. You originally leased this and then bought it off lease, right?
Yeah, this was,
it's my car.
yeah,
This is-
it's Alyssa's.
Yeah.
Yeah, she bought it technically.
Wasn't this Blue's car?
It was
Technically-
Ellie's car.
Oh, Ellie's car.
I bought it for
Okay.
Ellie when
Right.
she was a puppy.
And this is a convertible too,
Yeah.
which is great. A lot of fun to drive.
Oh yeah, this car is amazing. We love it. It's perfect for the summertime, just bombing around. So I don't even know what state of charge it's at. You parked it in here.
Wow.
So,
Well, what was the license plate you had on that thing in North
Dumb.
Carolina?
Dumb.
Dumb. Right. I remember that. I just got to get a quick picture of this. Oh, here's some little bikes over here too. Those are cool.
Yeah, we still have a bunch of little scooters and bikes. A lot of bikes are at the.
well, we tried to
office.
start the Out of Spec Scoots channel
Yeah.
a few years ago, and the main thing that we learned from that is we need a presenter before we try and start a channel.
Yeah.
And we thought we had a presenter, but it didn't work out.
Right.
So we really need someone who's super passionate about micromobility. Alyssa, are you convinced that channel will work? I think it's going to be the biggest channel.
I mean, yeah, it's just really, we just found it's just really, really difficult to find somebody. You have to be passionate beyond this just being your job. You have to actually really love everything you're doing to be a YouTuber, because it is 24/7. It's not all rainbows and butterflies. So
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
to keep
Especially
things
when,
going.
like, I know oftentimes, Kyle, you'll call me up and say, Dad, we got a podcast now. Did you see what just happened? I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't, like, because I'm still working full time. But
Yeah.
I've been getting a lot of these bike companies and scooter companies trying to send me. I've
yeah.
taken a couple.
Yeah,
and-
we've seen the videos.
Yeah, and they tank.
Yeah, no one cares.
No one cares.
Well, that's the thing. The electric car audience and the micromobility audience are very different.
They are different.
That's why multi-channel makes sense.
Yeah. But I didn't know that, and now I have two really nice scooters, right? So
Not
I'm
a bad
okay with
problem to
that.
have.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I tried. I have one more bike, and then I'm done. So over here, we've got the Winnebago Rebel.
Which is for sale.
Yep, it is for sale.
You want it? You can get it.
Yeah, we haven't had any really bikes on it yet, but
Okay.
Couple nibbles.
What year is this? What's the mileage?
It's 2022 Winnebago Rebel with 30,000 miles, fully spec'd, every option with a bunch of accessories. I think new, they're almost $250,000 now, to $230 to $250 if you were to spec it new.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be right about 100 below that is our asking price.
And this is a diesel?
Yeah, 3-liter, 6-cylinder diesel with the physical 4-wheel drive system, not the all-wheel drive one. It's the one you want. It's the last of the 6-cylinder diesel Rebels.
Okay.
It's pretty cool.
All right. Well, even if you don't want it out there in out-of-spec land,
It's not that we don't
one
want
of
it. That's the thing. I would love to keep it. It's just quite expensive to have laying around, and we haven't used it in a year.
Yeah. Well, you guys
We're
are
just
busy.
Yeah, the idea was we would drive this to a shoot, do the shoot, and then come back. But then it's like, oh, we have all these electric cars we need to road trip for videos. And so even though we would prefer to take the Rebel, we're just clogged up. Like, we haven't even done a road trip on this EV6 long-termer, and it's what we have to do. So
Right.
we almost feel pressured to drive electric cars when that's ideally what we would take.
Right. And there it is. The
Yeah, there's your Lucid.
My car.
Drove that in the Surge,
Yep.
created some controversy.
Yeah, a little controversy. Yeah. But what an experience. What a great car. You got your Cybertruck?
Yep.
Cyber Beast?
Actually, technically, it's your Cybertruck
Yeah, well, that's right.
because we had to register it at your condo because I used your referral thing to skip the line.
Yeah.
Which was an interesting program that Tesla did to really allow, I would say, content creators such as yourself. You have viewers that use your code, early access to the trucks, and it worked out great for us.
Yeah, it was like some number of points. And
A
then
lot of points, but you could skip the line.
Skip the line.
Yep. And so we didn't. Yeah, we had gotten this one. It's been 100 something.
What's going on here with the mirror?
Yeah, Alyssa, what's going on with the mirror?
It's Picasso.
Yeah, it's Picasso. You wanted to modify it a little bit?
Yeah, it's just a quick modification. Anybody can pretty much do it. You just gotta park it in your garage and put it in reverse.
This just happened about 45 minutes ago. It was like,
No problem.
Yeah.
It's going in for service. I mean, we've already tore up under here. This is all getting replaced.
Ooh.
That and this from off-roading. And there's now skid plates from the factory, I believe, and
Yeah.
we'll get all that.
Yeah, I heard that just came out yesterday now.
Yeah, I mean, all of this down here was only $300.
Really?
Yeah, not bad. So don't. The people that don't take their trucks off-roading, go use it. I have it on the stock tires, which are pretty worn down just for some FSD
Are
testing.
those the original wheel covers?
No, these are the updated ones.
Those are the updated ones?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
And there's my Rivian, which, man, it's interesting to have both Rivian and Cybertruck because even now, still, after 8 months of having both or whatever it's been, I don't know which one I prefer. Some days I go easy Rivian, some days I go easy Cybertruck, and I love them both, I would say, equally.
Yeah. Your transition from regular steering to drive-by-wire, do you ever get mixed up? Or?
No. I never get used to a car. I'm so, I drive like maybe 8 to 10 different cars a day.
So when Kyle was a kid, this was not this exact car, but this is what my mom drove.
That's right.
And I just love the fact that,
Best engineered car of all time.
and by the way, Grandma loves the fact that you bought one of
Oh,
these.
yeah, I've never actually talked to her about this.
So
I didn't know she knew I had one.
she really is so happy that you went out and got one of these.
Yeah,
It's
so
almost the exact spec.
I bought it from a friend of mine, Driven Dave. We became friends because of this car. I bought it a few years ago. And I was watching LS400 videos. I love early 2000s luxury sedans, S-Class 7 Series, all that late 90s, early 2000s. And, so I always have a search filter online, and I still do for all of those generations. I don't actually have enough space for them because I don't have enough room for the electric cars. And so that's where I'm space limited even with the hub. And I don't really like leaving the cars outside.
Model S 600s.
Right, yeah. So what I thought, I was watching YouTube, and there were videos of this guy reviewing his LS400. And I was like, oh, this is great because that's what I'm thinking about getting. And, they're only a few $1,000s. They're not like that expensive, these things. And he mentioned in one of those videos that he was going to sell his LS400. And so I emailed him. Turns out he was an out of spec viewer as well. And he got a Model 3 to replace this. And now we're great friends. I see Dave a few times a year. We go driving. He lives at the base of Angeles Crest Highway.
Oh,
so
wow.
this car's had a lot of Angeles Crest Highway miles on it.
There you go.
Although Dave doesn't really rip that hard, so I know it hasn't been driven hard. And yeah, it was great. So he bought it from a one owner. He was the second, I believe, I'm the third owner.
Right.
Something like that.
By the way, this wrap is so cool.
Yep.
Is that something that was custom designed, or did they?
Yep.
It's
Totally
really
custom printed wrap. The color was custom done.
Okay.
It was actually white vinyl that all of this is printed.
So this original color was
Sustainability.
was this one was white?
Yeah, this was a white truck.
White truck. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually holding up great. So our buddy G at Test Bros and Rivian Bros, or is it Riv Bros?
Yeah.
I think it's Riv Bros. He's actually coming out to wrap our Cybertruck and our Model 3 in just a few weeks.
Really?
Jordan's long range.
Jordan's long range rear-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Oh boy, what are you gonna wrap the Cyber in?
I don't know, but Jordan's going to do pistachio green for his Model 3, which will look really good. I think it's like a.
So what did he end up getting? Stealth gray?
Yeah,
Why
because,
spend money if you're gonna wrap it?
that was my view.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the Cybertruck, everyone says to go something crazy on it, but I really don't like. The truck's already crazy. If it was just for me, I would just make it black and have a black Cybertruck. But everyone does that, so I was thinking we would do a white Cybertruck.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was down in Coral Gables recently at a conference at the Lowe's Hotel, and there was a black one parked out, all black. It looked really good.
Yeah, no, they do. They
It
do
was
look
matte
good.
black. I mean, the thing looks sick.
You know, with the light bar on it now, and when I get the Martian wheels,
Where's the light bar?
it's on it.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, yeah.
I missed that.
Oh yeah, check it out.
Hold on.
Came included with the truck. They finally got it
Oh,
on
I
there.
see. Didn't you also buy something else for like an extended range?
Right, so I pre-ordered the range extender, but it's not out or ever. I
Do
don't
you
know.
think that's ever gonna be a thing?
I hope it needs it.
So this is a light here?
Yeah, so Tesla can't deliver it with the light reflector showing, so they tape it up. Because it's not DOT compliant. So technically it's not road legal. It is road legal right now, but as soon as I install the light, it becomes non-road legal.
When you say install
Off-road
light,
use only. So this is taped, black tape.
It's just if you take that tape off.
Then you have a reflective surface in a place that's not allowed to be.
Ah.
So it's off-road use only.
I see. Okay.
So they also don't wire it in, so I have to wire it in.
I got you.
Just haven't had the time.
You're gonna manually have a switch though that you can turn it on or off.
It's in the software. It's designed to work with
Oh,
it.
it's in the software.
Yeah.
Of course. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So then we have a 4-cylinder Macan over here that is from our friends at Porsche Fort Collins, where you purchased the Macan.
Yep.
They're great
Mom
supporters
did
of us.
me.
Yeah, Mom purchased the Macan. You collectively. And we have it here just for comparison, because I thought it would be interesting to get the ICE Macan and the electric Macan together. So they're really cool. They let us borrow whatever's on the lot. So I've had this here for a few days in anticipation of your arrival.
What spec is that? Is that a
Just 4-cylinder base.
Okay.
Yep. Because you also have the sort of entry-level electric one, so I thought, okay, it'd be good for fuel economy comparison, other stuff like that.
Right.
Plus,
Okay.
This is Drew's Rivian. All Rivian's sad when you park them up front, by the way, especially when it gets cold. You can see it's sort of doing a
I
downward
remember
dog.
Tom's was doing that. Malagi's.
Yeah, mine was too, and they just kind of do that. There's really, every time I mention it in a video or post about it, service calls, because they're viewers, and they're like, hey, we can fix it, but my truck's been in a few times, it still does it if I don't drive it for a while. But yeah, this is just a Gen 1 dual motor performance. Large pack, actually. I thought it was max pack, but it's a large pack. Then this is our Kia EV6 GT. This is loaned to us by Fort Collins Kia, huge supporters.
Not a GT line?
No, GT.
Oh, so this is like the Ioniq 5N?
Yes.
Oh, I gotta take this out.
Yeah, so
I didn't realize
it's a little bit of a detuned N.
A detuned N.
But then the refresh of the EV6 GT, which is coming in just a few months, will be matched with N.
Right, and is that gonna have native NACS built into it?
Yeah, that one will. This one does not.
Okay.
Which I actually think right now you would want the CCS one.
Why is that?
Because when you go to supercharger, this will only do less than 100 kilowatts. And so then you would need to use an adapter every time you go to a high power station, which are the stations you're going to use most of the time because you're going to avoid superchargers. So until Tesla builds out their V4,
Because of the fact it's an 800 volt car, we're not gonna have the speeds on a
right, so
400
it
V3.
felt like if anyone was going to do native NACS, it should have been Ford and Rivian, and maybe these guys should have waited, is my impression. Just for today. I mean, if you're building a car that's going to last 10 years on the road, which they are, it's not going to be a problem in just a few years as we transition.
By
But
the way, I haven't really kept my finger on the pulse for this. What's going on with V4 installations? Have they been going in anywhere?
no, not a single one yet.
Not so. People are posting V4.
Yeah, V4 dispensers.
Right, but I mean,
Yeah.
what do you think they would understand?
It's technically V3 plus and no.
Huh.
Yeah, no, most people don't.
So still not one V4 that you're aware of in this entire country.
Yeah, other than testing sites.
Testing sites.
Yeah, but no public.
Well, once the V4s are in there,
Early next year.
then you're going to start to be able to see these 800 volt cars like the Macan, like this, the CGMP. That
Yeah.
would be okay.
Yeah.
And what do you think the Cybertruck will charge out on a V4?
Well, same as it does on EA right now.
Same as EA.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
unless they've shown Cybertruck hitting 500 kilowatt peak. That's different software.
I see.
Yeah, so we'll see if that makes its way to
All right.
consumers.
Well, Colorado, and what in the heck? The VinFast.
VinFast
How's this thing
EFA.
doing, Kyle?
It honestly, I really don't hate it. Which is probably the nicest thing I can say about it.
I really don't hate it. Okay.
Yeah, really don't hate it. It's kind of cool. It's got some great features.
It's got some big lettering in the back there.
Yeah, it's it actually has been a little bit buggy, yes, but I think going into it expecting the worst car in the world, they made huge updates from when we first reviewed it, and it's nice. The best thing about it is you can get it in and get it moving instantly. It starts up in no time at all. Very little phantom drain, almost none, not perceptible, and it's just a fine car. I can't for the life of me understand why you would buy it over anything else, but it's not as terrible as our first review of it made it seem. Which is also one of the reasons we bought it, because we wanted to know, will this company survive? Will they innovate? Will they change? The answer is it seems like yes. And it's been fun to make fun of this car, and basically they wouldn't give us a car to review, so we went and leased one as like an FU to VinFast, so that was really fun.
Right.
But to be honest, the car itself has been really it's been fun. I have no desire to ever get in and drive it over anything else. But
you know the one car that you need to get your hands on is that one where the rear windshield, I'm just drawing a complete blank. You can't buy them anymore. The rear screen in the back would go all the way down. It's the California surfboard going out.
the
back.
Fisker.
Yeah, the Fisker.
Yeah. I thought you were thinking Forerunner for a second.
Yeah.
It goes down the back.
I'm sorry.
Like I shouldn't buy a Forerunner.
I'm just tired and getting old, I guess.
Yeah, Jordan's girlfriend drives a Forerunner actually, if we ever need one.
Well, that's good to know. But we're
Don't know why you
asking
need to know
about
that.
Fiskers.
Yeah.
I mean,
Gotta get an Ocean for sure.
I mean, you can't buy one new right now,
No.
but used.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait till they get super cheap.
Yeah.
There's no reason to get one now versus 2 years from now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I want to spend over $5,000 for one.
That's such a shame.
I know, because it's a cool car.
Design-wise,
Magna.
I really like that thing too.
Yeah, he can design a car, but he can't run a company, is my impression. I'm not a good company or person analyst, but that's at least what history tells us about Henrik Fisker. Seems like a cool dude, car enthusiast. You know, that's fine. I don't know anything about him. I just know that it has not succeeded at his own company.
Yeah, I went and did like just down when they did the pop-up down in Meatpacking in New York. They had a nice little showroom down there.
That's right, yeah.
It was really quite...
And you know, to think VinFast, I mean, VinFast has all the money in the world behind it, but these guys, VF9 is now on sale, so they now sell 2 models in our market. Their 3-row SUV, which is starting at $70-something thousand, $75,000 starting. Wow. For a VinFast. I'd have an R1S all day. Just a low. I don't care if the VinFast is better in every way. I just would not feel comfortable. But you know, based off of this experience, I think they could get there. It's just been a rough launch. Wow. Maybe the roughest launch of any automaker in recent memory. Probably even worse than Fisker on the early reviews.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
although my early review of the Fisker wasn't so good.
Remember when they brought all the journalists over there and fed them $2,000 bottles of whatever the heck it was?
Yeah, it was a lot more than that. $7,000 bottles of whiskey. But what we're going to do with this one at some point was my buddy Rich Rebuilds actually came to the end of the I-90 surge.
Yes.
And he brought his Fisker. And I said, we should do a road trip race of VinFast versus Fisker.
Yeah, you know, it was so funny. I saw Rich and I was like, I just watched a video with JR and Rich. And I was like, I know who that guy is. And I went over, are you Rich? And he's like, yeah. And it was great to meet him.
Yeah, he's great.
What a great guy.
That was a fun trip.
That was a fun trip. Well, listen, guys, thank you so much. Alyssa, Kyle, it's so good to be out here. Thanksgiving Day. Congrats again.
Thank you.
You guys have a lot to be thankful for. I know a lot of people out there think, oh, this is such an easy life, being a YouTuber and all that. Well, man, I'll tell you what.
Well, there's a lot worse lives. Let's be honest. There's a lot worse ways to spend your time.
There's a lot worse lives, but I will tell you, both you guys work your tails off and deserve everything you're getting. And I'm proud of you. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Thank you for the tour. Good luck with this. You need some signage up here, Kyle.
Yeah, I'm not one for branding if people haven't figured it out by now.
Well, I think it's time.
Yeah.
You got to kick up the notch of branding.
Yeah, not a branding kind of person.
I know.
But,
well, everyone, thanks again for watching another episode of Out of Spec Dave. We'll catch you in the next one. For one, I think I got to go take out this VinFast and do a little review.
Absolutely.
This EV6, and I got to do a revisit on the Cybertruck because I think I only drove it a matter of like 15 minutes.
I think it would be interesting to see you do Rivian versus Cybertruck.
Rivian versus Cybertruck. Okay, that's going to happen. All right, everyone, take care now. Bye-bye.